Beverly, Radiance. Radiance.
Hello there. Hi.
Hello. Beverly.
I'm here.
We're 2 for 2, 2 for 2. I can't tell you how excited I am for this session of Entrepreneurship Matters. One, because we are all great friends. We all went to law school together. These are two of the most dynamic attorneys of our time. And I got them both to commit to being on Entrepreneurship Matters. So thank you. I feel like a winner already. We're already winning in this session. So let me set us up, and then we'll go right into our conversation. So Entrepreneurship Matters is a conversation that we have with entrepreneurs. What we know is successful entrepreneurs are not built in a day. It takes undiluted passion, multiple failures, a lot of grit, and a long-term commitment to have it happen. We've been having this is our 25th week of doing Entrepreneurship Matters. And it really started because a young person who's also an entrepreneur, Camry Moses, who serves on a Johns Hopkins advisory committee, came up with this idea, and we have been forever grateful to her for pushing us to have this. And I know she's watching because she watches every week, and I know she'll be happy with what happens today. So let me get to your bios, which are like 5 pages, y'all.
Read 2 or 3 sentences.
2 or 3 sentences. So Radiance Harris is an award-winning trademark attorney, highly sought-after speaker, author, and entrepreneur. She is the founder and managing attorney of Radiance IP Law. Great name. I mean, your name, but great name.
Thank you.
She has successfully represented startups and multinational corporations across diverse industries and worked at the world's largest law firm representing Fortune 200 companies. She's had an extensive career, and when she talks about awards, she has been award-winning. And we're also going to talk about her author, her book that's coming out during this session. So stay tuned for that. Beverly Winstead is the managing attorney of the law office of Beverly Winstead. Beverly represents individuals and businesses when they have disputes with the IRS and state taxing agencies. In addition to managing her own practice, she also serves as the clinic director and clinical law instructor for the Low-Income Taxpayer Clinic at the University of Maryland, and helps and advocates on behalf of low-income taxpayers across our state to ensure that they're treated fairly within the tax system. And I always love your remarks about how much you help someone save, and how you were able to help someone in the tax system. She is the former chair of the MSBA tax session, current member of the steering committee for the American Bar Association's International tax section, and the vice chair of the tax section for the MBA. She also has, just like Radiance, very civically involved, and she is the vice president for the Louis Eddie Winstead Memorial Fund in honor of her brother who passed away in 2011. And we're going to talk about that as well. We're all University of Maryland Francis King Carey School of Law grads. And so it is my pleasure to have you both here today. Why don't we get right into the conversation? And so we all went to law school. We graduated. And then you all go and build empires. So can you talk about, start with you, Radiance, what inspired you to go and become an entrepreneur?
So to be honest, it wasn't really in my plan. When I went to law school, I was set on working at a big law firm coming out. And so that's how I started my career, working at the world's largest law firm at the time. And so that was my dream job. But once I got there, I mean, I had a pretty good experience, but I was unfulfilled there and ended up leaving, not really knowing what my next direction was. And then I had this epiphany that I very much still loved the law, still loved what I did, but I wanted to help small and emerging businesses protect their brands. So that's what kind of pushed me to start my own law practice after not really being fulfilled helping the big corporations doing legal for the big names that we see. I'm a lot more fulfilled actually helping those small and emerging companies, those future 200 companies protect themselves early on. So that's what kind of pushed me to move forward.
Wow, wow. We're already getting hold on. Let me, before I start, because I'm not going to break this up, because we're going to this. If you don't know, we're going to cut up a little bit on here. For that.
That's a
But
given.
if you're tuning in on the phone, you can text your questions to 22333 and type JHUWL. You can also put your questions in the chat on Zoom. And I know a lot of you are watching on Facebook, so please put them in the comments on Facebook, and I'll make sure to get to all of your questions. Beverly, what inspired you to graduate law school, then embark upon a career as the tax attorney, I would say?
So for me, I think it was a desire to have freedom. And I thought entrepreneurship was the way to go for freedom. Part of that came from, I played basketball in college and undergrad. And I just never thought I would be able to be a type of person that would be confined to working to an office every day, 9 to 5. So that was my original intent, really to just kind of have the freedom. And it's so funny because I say, yeah, I'm gonna have my own business. That way during the day, if I want to go to the gym and work out and play basketball, I'll just go and play. I have not even thought about that gym since I started being a business owner, okay? So it's funny because I think, well, definitely I've learned over the years that, I mean, being an entrepreneur, you definitely work harder than working for someone else, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, take us through starting. So both of you had an idea. You started embarking, whether it was for freedom or to assist businesses that were much smaller and emerging. What were the steps you went through to start your business? I'll start with Radiance again, and then, take us through what was the process you went through?
Sure. So the process was, okay, I want to start a business. So first step was coming up with, what do I want to name that business? So for me, it was important to have a law firm with a name that stood out, because I wanted my law firm to not be your typical law firm, because I'm not your typical lawyer. So I came up with Radiance IP Law, filed the LLC to get it registered, got my EIN, filed my trademark immediately. Then I went and got my website up and running, got my legal liability insurance that we need as lawyers, professional liability insurance.
You must have insurance.
Yes. And then I basically sent out an email to anybody and everybody that I knew and connected with over the course of my life, mama, daddy, grandma, aunts, uncles, friends, classmates, and said, I'm open for business.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So let me take you through a couple of things you said. One, you thought about branding at the outset, which isn't that, that sounds like you, because that's what you do. You trademark and you protect brands. You then you did your legal work, which is filing the appropriate documents, your EIN. You got a trademark, and so you protected your brand. And maybe we'll get into this discussion a little bit about even what is a trademark and what are you talking about when you talk about legally protecting your brand. You got a website, insurance, and then, which all the entrepreneurs on here talk about, is that friends and family, that connection, that being your first source of business. Beverly, how'd you start? How'd you get into starting your own business?
Yeah, a similar path. I wasn't as knowledgeable when it came to trademark and IP, and protecting that brand and that intellectual property. So that came later. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the normal process, I'm thinking about what kind of structure do I want to structure my business, in some form or fashion. I came up with a business plan also. And even though, I came up with a business plan. I knew over time the business plan would change, but at least it gave me some roadmap, like similar to if I was going to some, destination, right? I put it in my GPS, I have some route to go. So that's the importance of having a business plan. And from there, honestly, you just hit the ground and just kind of figure out some things as you go along.
That's true.
Yeah, tell me tell me about the journey of your businesses, both of your, so your business is 10 years old. I know I came to Celebration Beverly, going on 11.
Yep, going on 11. Girl,
Kids.
give me that year now.
Every year matters.
Good to you. And Radiance, how many years have you been?
Be 5 years this month. Celebrating
Yeah.
5 years this month.
Excellent, excellent. So what have you learned over the course of your trajectory of your business? Things that you said, I wish I had known in the beginning, or things you said, I'm really glad I did that in the beginning. Why don't I start with you, Beverly, and then go to Radiance?
Okay. Well, it's a lot of things that you actually learn after the fact or while you're going through it. I just probably want to just narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3 things. So
Sure.
For me, my business took an interesting path because when I first started, I actually had, a partner, someone who was older, who knew a lot about business. And I want to say maybe 3 years in, this person passed away. And, and so it was a situation now where I was a new entrepreneur still. And I also was new learning the law. So it was a lot of things that I was scrambling, trying to keep up with. So, I think a lot of times businesses are underfunded. So you definitely want to make sure you have enough funding or enough capital to kind of just, if things happen, that you can keep going. If you don't have the capital, you need to have a strategic plan, right? Some type of plan, because not all entrepreneurs have access to capital. So you want to have some type of strategic plan in place, like insurance. So if you don't have money, make sure you have insurance or you have access to credit cards or something like that. The third thing I want to say is one of the things, I think one of the challenges I had early on in my business is I had a lot of family issues happen to me. I had, like I said, my partner passed away, my brother passed away, my grandmother, and my office manager, all in a span of about 6 months. So,
Wow.
yeah, it was a very trying and challenging time for me, right? And I really wanted to quit. But the thing that helped me to move forward is I had a strong support system around me. So my mom, my cousin, my cousin Brooke, she flew in from New York and she stayed with me, I want to say about a month, to help me just to kind of manage through the grief that I was trying to process, and also continue to figure out a plan on how to keep the business moving forward, right? So with that being said, I can't, like now, I would say once a month, I have mastermind meetings with some of my closest strategic people. And it's really just a chance for us to just toss ideas off of each other and talk about the challenges that we have in business. And I can tell you, one of my favorite books is Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. And it's by Harvey Mackey. And one of the things he says is—
Say it again. Someone's taking notes.
Okay.
Say it again.
Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. It's by Harvey Mackey. One of the critical pieces of, I guess, advice he gave in that book is to make sure you have a strong network. So your network should be so strong that if I call you at 2:00 in the morning, ALICIA, I know you're going to answer the phone.
You know I answer.
Yeah, I know you're going to answer. And so that's, I would say this, that's one of the things I learned out of that whole experience, because when you're going to have family challenges, these are the things that you don't, I guess, factor in when you're doing your business plan, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to factor in that you may go through a divorce. You might not factor in that you're going to lose a child. You may not factor in that your parents are going to get dementia. So when those challenges come and you still want to be an entrepreneur and you still want to have your business up and running, you need a strong support system. You need somebody that you can call at 2:00 in the morning. You need somebody that's going to call and tell you to get out of bed, because that's what people did for me, because I was not trying to get out of bed. And I think, there were a period where I went silent for like 2 years and nobody knew, like I was just, and I'm very extroverted, right? And so I was just silent for like 2 years. And I remember the people that called me every day and said, Beverly, get out of bed. Like
Yeah.
Beverly, or they would text me. They're like, look, you got to come to this networking event. You got to come to the National Bar event, right?
I know,
And you
that's
were
my
one of those
that's my
people, I
bar buddy.
remember.
Yes, yes. No, no, absolutely. I mean, I think you dropped some really, really great numbers, and I know people are taking notes. One, that working capital, that underfunding. Two, the strategic plan, and how to think through the financial aspect. And three, I mean, this was profound what you said about the support system. So we had many entrepreneurs on here talk to us about the tailspin you get put on, and the book you just offered. We're gonna have to charge them this commercial, but dig your well before you're thirsty. Excellent, excellent points for folks. Radiance, what would you say?
I definitely will piggyback off of what Beverly said about the importance of having a community. When I started my law firm, like literally within a couple of weeks, I had joined a women's mastermind for entrepreneurs. And that allowed me to jump over the learning curve very quickly. Because as as an entrepreneur, you're often working by yourself. You're often starting as a solopreneur, so you don't have a team or anyone to bounce ideas off of. And so for me, that was it was crucial to me being able to get through the first couple of years of business, because I had a network of people who I could get advice from or tap into. So I definitely would co-sign on the importance of that. The next thing I would encourage people to really think about is their mindset. So a lot of people have come from like being an employee. Like before I had started my business, I was an employee. And so you really have to break that employee mindset. Like the entrepreneur mindset is very much go-getter and abundance, and there's enough out there for me. Like, so you have to like get that mindset right to really achieve the goals that you aspire to. Like mindset is everything. And I remember people telling me that, and I'm like, oh, mindset, woo-woo, sounds woo-woo, but it's not woo-woo. Like it's very important. Like you need to know and believe that what you are doing. Yeah, right. Like what you are doing and what you are working towards is actually possible. Like, do you believe if you do that, so that's the second thing that I would say. And then thirdly, the importance of marketing. And so with marketing, a lot of times, a lot of business owners, they're like, oh, I get most of my business from referrals. So that essentially means they're waiting around for business to come to them. Like you can't, if you want to have a sustainable business, it's got to be an active market. And by marketing, posting on social media, reaching out and utilizing the people in your referral network. It's important as an entrepreneur to not just be sitting there waiting for the next business. So go out there and get those opportunities. Always like ask yourself every day, how am I going to make money today? How am I going to bring in money today? And so that's what I think is important. Those three things that I've learned.
Excellent. I want to say something about mindset, because this is important. Because when you're going through, you got to have a healthy mindset.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the things I did when I was going through my challenges and trying to bring myself to a place where I could go out and get the abundance and really serve clients, because you can't lead when you're in need, right? You have to get yourself together. You have to get your mindset together. And I would have Post-it notes, and I would put little affirmations on all the mirrors. So anytime I went to the bathroom, guess what? I would see, I can do this, right? I would see, biblically, that I am the lender and not the borrower. Then I would have this poem by Marianne Williamson. What's our deepest fear? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure, right?
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, both of you, y'all trying to preach a word on here. Let's see what you're doing. So let me recap for you what Radiance said. Radiance talked about that community of network, and both of you talked about mastermind. Well, let's make sure we don't lose that point, because I think people may not understand what that means to have be in a mastermind group. The mindset, breaking and having no limit, and the marketing of your business. And I think somebody quoted you can't leave when you're in need. And so that is a really important point. Let me ask you this. When you talk about, let's take that a little further. When you talk about a mastermind, both of you, what are you talking about?
So a mastermind is basically a collective of people with similar goals. So in my case, So at the beginning, I joined a mastermind of other women entrepreneurs who were in their infancy of business, and some were a little bit more senior, but we were all trying to figure out this entrepreneurship thing together and keep each other accountable for our goals. And then later on, as I've grown, I was a part of a mastermind with women entrepreneurs who had achieved 6 figures and wanted to now achieve 7 figures. And again, we all have that same goal of like achieving that next thing. So it's basically just getting a collective of people who are in the same place as you, and you're trying to move towards a goal, and you want accountability, you want support. That's what it is. That's what a mastermind is.
Excellent. Now, there are a number of people on here, and we talked about trademarks, intellectual property. Most of us know our taxes because we fill them out on April 15th. Can you tell us about what's intellectual property? What do you do, Radiance? And then I'll go to Beverly. What do you do? Many people don't know what a lawyer, a tax lawyer, or an property attorney does.
Right. So intellectual property is an umbrella term, and it encompasses 4 different areas of law. So you've got trademarks, which protects elements of your brand. It protects your brand. So your business name, your logo, slogan, product and service names, things like that. Anything that serves as a source identifier for your business. And what I mean by a source identifier is basically you want your prospective clients and customers to see your brand, your business name in the marketplace and automatically associate that with you. You don't want them to see it and be confused and wonder, is that the business? Like, you want them to be clear and have complete confidence that that's the business. So that's the purpose of a trademark. It separates and distinguishes competitors' products and services. A copyright protects content. So photographs, books that you write, website design, music, videos, those are all under the copyright umbrella. And then you've got trade secrets, which protects anything that is proprietary to your business. So anything that is meant to be a secret or kept a secret, that's what a trade secret is. And then patents protects inventions that you create. So what I do with my clients, I help them protect their trademarks. So I help them protect their business name, their slogans, product and service names, to ensure that they actually have full legal protection and ownership in the business and brand that they're building. So a lot of businesses think that their LLC and their social media handles and having these domain names means that they legally own their business name. It does not, unfortunately. The only way to have legal ownership in the name and the business that you're building is through a US federal trademark registration, which gives you exclusive rights to use that name across all 50 states in your industry. So that's what I help my clients do. I help them obtain US federal trademarks registrations from the US Patent and Trademark Office. I help them protect it. So once they are protected, I help them enforce it. And that means preventing other people from stealing it and copying it and having legal recourse for it. And then I also help them monetize it through licensing or other avenues.
Well,
sounds important.
That sounds important.
Sounds important. That's all I know.
It is.
It sounds important. Beverly, what is a tax attorney? What are you doing?
What do I do? Well, tax attorneys do a number of things. They help people, business owners in particular, in the capacity of helping them structure their businesses so that they pay the least amount of money legally to the IRS. I know everybody's like, oh, Donald Trump only pays $750. He must have really, really, really great tax attorneys. That could be true. The other thing that we do, so tax strategy is part of what we do. The other thing is a lot of people come see me when they have problems with the IRS or the states. And it may be because they misclassified a person from, when I say misclassified, when you're an entrepreneur, when you hire someone to help you, you can either hire them as an independent contractor or an employee, depending on what it is that they're doing for your business. So sometimes as an employer, you may misclassify people, and then the IRS may come in and say, no, that person really was an employee, not an independent contractor, therefore you owe additional taxes. So we work to help you get into some type of arrangement with the IRS in those instances. Mm-hmm. A really huge area for entrepreneurs that they should be aware of is payroll tax. So when you do hire employees, you have to pay over their Social Security, their FICA, that's FICA, Social Security, Medicare, as well as the federal withholdings and the state withholdings. You have to turn all that over to either the federal government or the state government for the state withholdings. And sometimes it doesn't happen for whatever reason. You can be undercapitalized. You may not have enough money to do that. You also may not know that you have that requirement to do. So when that happens, the IRS will definitely come after you and say, hey, you owe us additional money. So we work with a lot of businesses that owe payroll taxes.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I mean, I think that's helpful information. This is not legal advice. None of what they've said is legal advice.
Thank you.
But really helping people frame out. We actually have some of our classmates on there. It's neat. People tuning in for y'all. So let me ask you this. What has been your greatest accomplishment? You both are very accomplished women in the profession, but you could open this up to whatever you'd like. What's been your greatest accomplishment?
So I'll go first. My greatest accomplishment, I feel, definitely have been the students that I've helped along the way. When, I teach at the University of Maryland, and to be able to kind of show them what it means to be a tax controversy attorney. And then 5 years from now, they come back and they say, you know what, that's the field that they're in. And not only is it the field that they're in, but they're actually out here part of my competition. Okay. But I can't say that about competition because I want everybody to do well.
And Michael Jordan, see?
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, I want everyone to succeed. I want everyone to, do well. I think if you know me, that's truly my passion. Is helping others. And I just get overjoyed when, my students go out here and they, are able to help other people and just are successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How about you, Radiance? What's been your greatest accomplishment?
I mean, to be honest, that's a tough question. I feel like I have a number of accomplishments personally and professionally, but I would say professionally that stands out to me was the fact that I achieved a goal that I had since I was 15 years old of being a lawyer. So the fact that at 15, being the first lawyer in my family, never knowing a lawyer other than one family friend who kind of just inspired me. I'm sure you know Ben Wilson. He's the one lawyer I met at 15.
Ben Wilson.
Yeah. Ben Wilson.
That's the godfather to us all.
Yeah, he's great.
He's the father of one of my friends and former basketball teammates, and he's the first lawyer I ever met. And seeing him and how passionate he is, and he was happy for what he does. He's still going at it today. And it was like, oh, and he's making money too. So I was like, let me do that. And so just to set out on that goal at 15 and then to actually accomplish it and go to law school and then start my career at a big law firm and then go and start my own business, which wasn't even really a goal. I would say that was an accomplishment for me.
No,
one of my biggest ones. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, let me just say this. Both of you are just shining stars. I mean, just in the profession, but I also always refer business to you all. You always take the call, always follow through. And I look like a star because I associate with stars. So like,
you are a star. I was going to say,
you have no idea.
I get the glow with y'all. So let me ask you this, because both of you have an interesting background. And I'm going to start with you, Radiance. You, I guess in a week, will I be able to buy your book?
In a few days, less than a week, you'll be able to buy my book, my first book. Yes.
Trademark Like a Boss.
Yes.
I never thought I'd buy a trademark book, but this will be the first.
Yes, you absolutely should.
I'll have to order too.
Tell us. I know that's true. Tell us about the book. How did you write this?
Sure. So to be honest, it wasn't really in the cards for me to write a book. This past August, I felt like a calling in my heart to write this book. And so it was like, write this book. It's going to be called Trademark Like a Boss. You're going to impact a number of businesses. So I just went with it. And like I tell people all the time, I literally wrote it in 72 hours. I went to a hotel room and got away. My husband encouraged me to do that because he was like, minimize the distractions, go and write it. And so I wrote it in 72 hours. I'll be publishing it within 90 days. But the whole point and inspiration for it is that I want to make trademarks accessible for all businesses. So often a lot of new businesses, like Beverly had mentioned, don't have access to capital, they have limited funding. And so it's often the excuse of, I can't afford it. I can't afford this. So I wanted to remove that off the table. And so give people another option to be able to understand the importance and values of trademarks. And then if they feel inspired to try the process with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, I provided this very user-friendly guide that walks you step by step through the process. I provide everything in simple, plain English that even a kid could understand. I provide guides and templates and charts and so much value in this book. So I hope it ends up impacting a lot of businesses.
Excellent, excellent. That is inspiring.
Well, definitely put me down for
We need
for free
72
copy.
hours. We need 72 times 3, 4, maybe 5 to write a book. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Beverly, talk about your work as Vice President for the Lewis Eddie Winstead Memorial Fund. Can you tell us about that work?
Sure. You know, it's funny because Radiance said that the reason why she wrote her book is because it was just something in her heart. And this foundation came about, I would say 6 years after my brother passed away. And literally one day I was just laying in bed. I was reading this book. I forgot the name of the book, but it talked about pray for things at night, and in the morning the answer will come to you. And I remember going to sleep that night, and then the next morning it was like a light bulb went off, and I felt God was telling me, you need to start a foundation. And I was like, huh? And it's so funny because when you are inspired to do something, like Wayne Dyer says that you're in spirit. It's something that the idea will grab a hold of you. It's not that, and that's exactly what happened with this book. I mean, not this book. Girl, I'm speaking my book into existence. I am speaking my book into existence. Okay? That's what happened with this foundation. You know, I literally was laying in the bed, and when I woke up, God was like, start this foundation.
Yeah.
I called my mother. I said, Mama, because we decided, like, even when I was sitting there, I heard God saying, look, you need to do a charity basketball game. I'm like, I ain't played basketball in years. But everything just really fell into place. I called my mother and I said, Mama, go to the high school and see if we can get the gym. And she was like, what? I said, Mama, no, I just got this idea. Go to the high school, see if you can get the gym. And this is in North Carolina. She got up that morning, she went to the high school and she said, hey, we want to do a charity basketball game. My daughter's starting a foundation and we want to do a basketball game here. And they said yes. And so I hadn't even filed the paperwork yet for the foundation. And so I went and I filed the paperwork. Normally it takes IRS anywhere from 6 to 9 months to approve the foundation. And this is how I know it was divinely ordered, because the foundation, I got this idea October, right after I got back from Jamaica. Okay. I had gone to Jamaica
the first time.
October 7th. I got back October 17th. October 18th was when I had the idea. I filed the state paperwork for it to be set up. And then I filed IRS paperwork. By November, the end of November, I was approved to be a 501c3. We had the charity basketball game December 30th of the same year. And it was so funny. My sister was calling me. She was like, "You just trying to do too much, you know. I just think all this stuff is rushed." And I was calling everybody to say, "Hey, will you play in a charity basketball game?" I was calling people trying to get funding. And that year, the first year, we raised $8,000 in a period of, I want to say, 40 days.
Wow.
Wow.
And we gave our first 2 scholarships. We give scholarships every year, February 19th, which is my brother's birthday, you know. And we give scholarships, at least 2 to 3 scholarships every year. And it's amazing to see the kids that I come from a small town in North Carolina, And, you know, the
Tell
median
them, because
income
somebody
there.
might watch and they might say, I come from a small town. What? Tell
Yeah,
them.
no, but the median income in Roxborough, North Carolina, which is where I'm from, is about $40,000, right? So imagine being able to come in and give back and help these kids go to school. So I guess that's another one of my accomplishments. I'm totally, you know, proud of. And
No, it's
you know,
beautiful.
I thank everyone who has given. And I know I'm gonna go ahead and give you the website if you want to give again, but it's www.hoops4eddie.com. And this year, obviously, we're not able to do our charity basketball game because of COVID, but I still know that, you know, I feel like we've been prepared for this time, so we still will be able to give, you know, scholarships next year. So definitely happy about that.
No, excellent. So, what is your vision for the future? What are you both thinking? What are you praying about at night? You don't have to tell us all the prayer, but what are you? What's your vision for where you're going? Tell, Radiance. I'll start with you.
I want to basically create a legacy for my family, for my son. So using the income, I'm always increasing my income goals. So like my focus is, you know, being a 7-figure law firm, and for 7-figure law firm.
Just
so
the
like,
people may not know where to come. Tell them that's $1 million.
That's $1 million, yeah. Multi-million-dollar law firm is my goal.
Hire me.
Yes. So that's what I've been
Just
focused
kidding.
on.
Just kidding.
But it's not for just me. I want to be able to provide, you know, opportunities. I get reached out to all the time from law students, college students who are interested in going to law school and who are interested in getting into the IP space. Like, it's very hard, very competitive to get a job in trademarks and stuff like that. So I want to be able to provide those opportunities for people. I want to be able to help, you know, continue to help businesses and create an impact, help them protect their brands and see that what they accomplish, you know, moving forward. And I also want to be able to leave a lot for my son, my grandkids, and so on and so forth. So for me, it's bigger than just trademarks. It's about creating a legacy and generational wealth.
Excellent. Beverly, what would you say? What are you, what's the vision for?
Well, honestly, it sounds like Radiance and I need to be in the same mastermind group.
Yes, Radiance.
You know,
Radiance.
We're gonna have to talk after this because it look like we like-minded here.
We do, yeah.
I mean, I don't have kids yet, but you know, I have a couple of nieces who always say, "Oh, Bella, why aren't you married yet?" Like they're the only people that harass me when I go home. Okay. But I'll say this, like, yeah, definitely, I want to leave a legacy. I do want to also provide opportunities. I'm about to bring on actually one of my former students. I'm hiring him. Actually, I called him this morning to offer him a job. And it feels good when you're able to do that, right? When your firm is growing.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's
have the ability to create opportunities for people, particularly in a time when you're in a pandemic and people are really searching for work, right?
Absolutely. Let me start getting to the questions because we're going to run out of time. I already feel it. People can text their questions to 22333 and type JHUWL. You can also continue to put your questions on Facebook as well as in the chat. I'm going to start with some of those right now. So let's go to the top of the questions. Someone talked about amazing story, Radiance, resiliency, Beverly, note-taking. This question came from Facebook. Whoa, this is a good one. I'm gonna give it to Radiance first. I'm gonna give it to
Oh, God.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
The advice I would give to my younger self is to believe in yourself, to not limit yourself. I think we tend to have self-doubt and question whether you can achieve something. And for me, that's a struggle that I had as a young child, even into my adulthood, is like having that belief in yourself and that self-esteem. So that's what I would tell myself. Believe in yourself. You can do this. You are worthy. You matter. You are enough. And like those things, I think would have a tremendous impact in the trajectory of your life if you just believed in yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beverly, what would you say?
That's a great answer. Okay.
That's great.
It's a great answer. Hey.
It is a great answer.
Yeah, I have this conversation with myself all the time. Like, what would I tell my younger self? And it just comes back to, I just tell myself to relax. Everything is going to work out. So just relax and enjoy the journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. True.
No, absolutely. Everything starts with a belief.
Mhm.
It all does. And you got to relax. The journey is the best part of this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody's trying to get to a destination, but it's in the journey, right? It's in the journey.
Yeah.
When you take a trip, you're taking the trip for the fun you have along the way. Not because, hey, I'm in Jamaica and now I'm coming home. It's all the fun we had those 3 days on that catamaran. It's all the fun we had partying that night, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's great. Good up. Someone said, this is Aisha. Y'all remember Aisha Gillis?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
Hey,
She
Aisha.
also talked about just continuing to stress the importance of trademarks and IP. And that goes into the question that we got. Someone received from someone texting saying, should all businesses, small businesses, secure IP? Will this protect them from legal recourse by larger businesses or corporations over content?
Yes, all businesses have intellectual property and all businesses should protect it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And your book is going to help people, even if they, to get Trademark Like a Boss coming out on Amazon?
It'll be out on Amazon on November 17th, which is this coming Tuesday. But you can, if you are interested in pre-ordering, you can go to my website, radianceiplaw.com/book, and you can pre-order at a discounted rate through today.
No, I'm ordering Beverly, because we need.
I'm ordering it too.
Please do right after this session.
You shouldn't have said there was a key today.
Yes, it is.
Someone said they're ready for your initial sermon, Beverly. Beautiful. You did try to preach a word. I heard both of you did.
Yes.
Well, when you've been through some things, right?
You got a testimony.
You had a testimony without a test. It's true.
That's right. Come on now.
Come on now. All right. So this question was, I love what you both said about shifting mindset from being an employee to being the boss. How did you go about changing that mindset? This person said they feel so discouraged because working as my own boss does not come naturally. And I always feel there is something I'm not doing right. How did you go about building your confidence and mindset?
So definitely surrounding yourself with people who have done it, who are doing it, having that positivity around you, reading books, like personal development is so important. So reading regular books that talk about the things that you struggle with. So if it's money mindset, reading money mindset books, if it's, marketing, reading. So whatever it is that you are finding is your weakness, reading those books to fuel you. And then like Beverly said, I do the same thing. Those Post-it notes are everything. Like those constant reminders, putting screenshots on your laptop, on your phone that just kind of remind you that you're worthy. Like money flows to me easily. Like you got to tell yourself,
say that.
you got to claim it. You got to speak it into existence. And again, it sounds woo-woo because I thought it was woo-woo, but until I started doing it and really started seeing a major change in how my business ran and how I woke up every day. So just got to keep feeding your spirit.
Yep.
That's right.
Say your affirmations first thing in the morning and before you go to bed at night. And then have the Post-it notes, I think, on all the mirrors. So you're actually talking to yourself, right? You got the Post-it note there in the mirror and you're looking at yourself, and you'd be surprised what that actually, does subconsciously for you. Trust me, I was at my lowest point. Okay. And it was really those affirmations, because honestly, even when you have a support system, like Radiance doesn't want to listen to me call her every day talking about how terrible life is and how much I'm struggling and all this. Like that stuff gets weighty, right? It gets weighty on other people. So it's really up to you. You need to read. I'm gonna tell you some really good authors or books that helped me.
Hold on, I'm taking them down because we're gonna repeat them at a certain.
Well, I'll just say I listen to a lot of thought leadership, and it's not for everyone. I mean, even if you go to the Bible, right? If you're a Christian, there's a lot of passages in the Bible that talks about I am the lender and not the borrower, right?
Yep.
So if you're the lender, that means that God wants you to have money. So you
Right.
to have how he wants you to be the lender. But thought leaderships like Dr. Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, Abraham Hicks, what's his name? Tony Robinson.
Tony Robinson. Hold on,
Robinson.
Abraham Hicks. What was the you said Wayne Dwyer? Who was the woman you said between?
Louise Hay. Louise Hay, she's real big on affirmation. I mean, she recently passed away, but affirmations every morning. Hey, love yourself. Like I can do this. And honestly, when you think about some of the people that have recently gotten hired for really big jobs, you know, sometimes it's like, I remember we were talking about Oprah and Michelle Obama. And I think Michelle Obama asked the question.
It was the two of us?
All of us.
All of us. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
they asked. I'm going to ask them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm jumping the gun.
Jumping the gun. Jumping the gun. Taking my job away from me. Can't keep a job. Okay, so let me ask you this question. How, as an entrepreneur, how do I plan now to afford your services? Someone asked that question. How did you build a lawyer into your and let me say this. I'm going to give you a little runtime. I can promise you, you can't afford not to have an attorney, and especially an attorney with a heart like these two. These are helpful, wanting to help you thrive in your business. But how can people plan to afford your services? So
I'll start that off because as Radiance just said, all you got to do is buy her book, and that's less than 5 cups of coffee at Starbucks, right? For the cost of her book. So that's one way you can get access to a lawyer, at least the information that we have, right? I do a lot of Facebook Lives every Tuesday. I try to do a Tax Talk Tuesday, where you can go on to my Facebook page if you want to connect with me, Beverly Winstead, and I will give you information about taxes and what you should be aware of. This year, I did a lot of talking about the PPP program, the Paycheck Protection Program, which Congress passed under the CARES Act earlier this year, also the EIDL loan. And up and coming, I'll be talking about a little bit of strategies for tax planning, how to save you some money toward the end of the year, as well as Biden's, President-elect Biden's tax plan and how that may actually change some of your strategies going into 2021 and beyond.
And in my opinion, I think people are afraid of lawyers, so they automatically assume it's going to be expensive without actually even exploring it. And so, the way I work with clients, I have a value-based flat fee model. So when clients come and they want to hire me to do their trademarks, they know exactly what they're getting. It's a flat fee with all-inclusive access to me, and I'm doing all the work on their behalf. So sometimes when you look into it, look a little bit further, like seek out, I specialize in trademarks, Beverly specializes in tax. So you always want to find an attorney who specializes in the thing that you need assistance with. Like, you don't want to go to an attorney that's a jack of all trades. You want to look at what their fees are. So some lawyers do hourly, some lawyers do flat fee, like in my case, some do contingency, some there's different fee arrangements. So you shouldn't automatically assume that you can't afford an attorney, because when you really look at the value that they provide, like for me, if you want to go on my website and look, I have my pricing on my website to schedule a call with me, and for my packages, it's very reasonable and very affordable. And so it's just a matter of, instead of saying automatically, I can't afford it, ask yourself, how can I afford this?
How can I
Like
afford?
that is the entrepreneur mindset. You got to figure stuff out. You don't just wait and it's like, oh, be defeated. Like, okay, I know I need this, this, and this. And so if you speak to an attorney like myself or a business attorney and find out what it is that you need to do, like, so scheduling, like I offer an IP strategy session where people can sit with me, or a clarity call where you can sit and we can identify what it is that you need to do and how much it would potentially cost you. And so I think it's important to at least take that step and find out really how much do I need for what it is that I'm trying to do versus just automatically saying, oh, it's too expensive, I can't afford a lawyer.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. We got a comment from Kelly Nowotnik. You remember Kelly?
Section 8.
Yeah, hey, Kelly.
Yeah.
She said she needed this positive energy today. Got it through law school and even today. So Kelly's good people. You know, she's over at PNC, rocking it out, doing an amazing work. Let me ask this question. So I just made it. I was looking down because I was checking my text. And Michelle Obama and Oprah are watching. Can you believe it?
Yes, I believe all things are possible.
All things are possible. That's
All
right.
things are possible.
That's right.
Why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they? And Jeff Bezos. We even got Jeff Bezos watching today.
Nice.
What would you say to those folks and folks like them who want to ensure that businesses like yours thrive? They want to make a statement that entrepreneurship matters and businesses that are leading with their heart and employing people and building legacy continue to thrive. What would you say that from the seats they sit in, the tables they get to eat at, the tables they get to set, what would you advise them on how they can support businesses? I'll start with Radiance.
I knew you were going to do that. So
No, you know what?
Fine.
I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna give it to Beverly.
I was ready.
Are you ready?
Ready. She's ready. Radiance is ready.
I think it's important. Like, people automatically go to, okay, you have a lot of money, you need to give more money to businesses. But I think there are ways to leverage in other ways, like using their platforms to uplift and endorse and co-sign businesses that, you know, are in line with what their values are and the impact they're trying to make. And, you know, if it's there, I think using their platform to promote, because everyone, you know, for people like Oprah, like, you only make it in front of Oprah after you've made it big, like you've done all the work and stuff. So it's like, how can you use your platform to help those that are just starting out in entrepreneurship and you see their heart and you align with what they're doing? How can you give them a platform, whether it's a shout out on Instagram or having a series on, you know, when you're inviting these up and coming? I think there are different ways that they can promote and co-sign on smaller businesses to get them to have a platform.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Hosting Entrepreneurship Matters on the Oprah Network. I mean,
That's true. That's true. They absolutely need to do that.
Yes. What do you think, Beverly? What would you say?
A lot of what my thoughts align a lot with Radiance, and really just give people opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And for some, like, mandate that, hey, you need to have a certain percentage of minority based or small entrepreneurs in on whatever contracts you're giving out, or whatever in the writing rooms, right? The writing rooms. Hey, we need to have diverse population, diverse writers. You know, the opportunities. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. Let me make sure, because we're gonna run out. I can feel it in my bones. We're gonna run out of time. Let me make sure we get your people know how to get in contact with you, how to follow you, how to get the books, how to sign up for Tax Tuesdays. So Radiance, how do people get in contact with you?
Sure. So you can follow me on Instagram at Radiance Harris ESQ. I'm on Facebook at Radiance IP Law. Also, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. My website is where you can go to schedule a clarity call or an IP strategy session with me, or you can check out our trademark services, as well as my book, are all on my website, radianceiplaw.com. If you're interested particularly in pre-ordering the book, as I mentioned, there's a 20% discount through today on the book. So through the website, so you can pre-order right now, radianceiplaw.com/book. Otherwise, you can wait until Tuesday and buy the ebook and paperback on Amazon.
Excellent, excellent. Beverly, how do people get in contact with you, stay connected to you?
You can go to my website, www.irshelpattorneys.com. And you can go there and you can schedule the other thing I was going to say, a business consultation, which is really important for people that are first starting out as business owners. Because like I said, a lot of times people come to me when they have problems, where if they had come to me in the beginning, we could have prevented the problems.
Yeah.
So definitely you could schedule a consultation. It's really not that expensive compared to what I charge when you do have a problem. So that's one thing.
Exactly.
Right. A lot
Good
of
point.
difference in price.
Yeah.
So the other thing you can do is if you want to connect with me on Facebook, Beverly Winstead, and Beverly Winstead Esquire is my business page. Yeah, Beverly Winstead EXQ. And then LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. Instagram is IRS Help Attorney, and Twitter is IRS Help Attorneys. So I'm on all the social media platforms.
You're amazing that you got that IRS Help Attorneys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fortuitous. Like that trademark. So let me.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know.
I got to get that book. I got to get that book and get my process.
That's right. That's right. Let me ask this question to close us out, because both of you have been, both of you are just so inspiring. I just can't stress it enough. And encouraging. And you've been encouraging on this platform today. What would you say to the entrepreneur who is sitting there and saying, I never thought about believing, and I'm low. Many people are quite low right now, trying to figure out how to adapt in their business, how to grow their business, how to start a business. They may have lost a job, and this is the opportunity for them to embark upon something they've prayed about and dreamed about. What's the word of encouragement you would give to them? So I'll start with Beverly, and then I'll go to my friend Radiance.
So the word of advice you're going to get from me, or encouragement, is coming from a Christian's perspective, because I am a Christian.
You can do that on here.
With God, all things are possible.
Yes.
And that's really all you need to say. Hey, with God, all things are possible. Okay. That's it.
Amen.
Amen.
And I would add to that, to know and believe that there is money out there. Like, yeah, we have COVID and people are going through hard times, but there are people out there thriving and killing it, having 6-figure months, 7-figure months. So if you believe that, don't think that people can't afford what you are offering. Don't be discouraged, because there's other people who are doing what you're doing. There's money out there for you. You just got to go out there and get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me say this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to both of you. I am so glad to call you friends, but more importantly, to be in the practice of law with two amazing women like yourself, and also to have you here today. I'm not going to be able to book y'all in a minute, but got you now. Got you now.
I received that.
Yes, I'm going to be able to book. But you know what? Y'all still going to accept my call. So I know.
Yeah, you know I am, Alicia.
I know that. Let me say, it has been a pleasure. We're going to do this again next week at 1:00. That is going to be all about handmade beauty products. We are so excited to have Larisha Horton of Messy Buddha and Teresa Cangalisi of So Botanical. This is one you don't want to miss. Please follow us on JH Connects on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and LinkedIn. Email us other entrepreneurs, but also email us comments or suggestions at jhconnects@jhu.edu. I want to thank our partners, Johns Hopkins University, Johns Hopkins Health System, Hopkins Local, the Mayor's Office of Small, Minority, and Women-Owned Business, and the Warnock Foundation. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and have a great
Thank you.
day, Radiance. Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Thank you.
you.
You're welcome.